So, Dad, what do you think about Scott Duncan?
Scott Duncan? Well, Scott has been getting mail from the AARP now for 3 years, and he hasn't opened any of it. That boy, what he does in the morning is he gets up, he checks the weather charts, files a flight plan, gets his cronies, and takes off on his bike. For Scott, biking is the essence of freedom. I don't think retirement's even in his vocabulary.
I'm riding my bike this summer across the U.S. For MS. It's called Bike the U.S. for MS. And I really need your support. All the money that we raise is used for research and treatment right here in Charlottesville, Virginia at the James Q. Miller Clinic. And I can't think of a better thing to do for people that suffer from a disease that takes away their ability to move is for us to go out and ride a bike all the way across the country to raise money for their cause. So please help me to raise money for MS this summer by supporting Bike the U.S. for MS for Scott Duncan. Thanks.
Not too long ago, Scott got a taste of freedom, and he has really never been the same since. Riding a bicycle for Scott is an experience of freedom, and it's an expression of liberty and experiencing the love and the friendship that God is giving to his life. So this summer, this ride this summer is going to be an exploration into freedom and in deepening the liberty in his life.
Well, I want to say something about my friend Scott. He is living a life of courage. In the midst of going through some significant life-changing events, he is resisting the temptation to return to safety and security, and he's setting out to follow his heart. His passion to take this bike trip across the country exemplifies that courage. But I see something beyond that. Scott's heart is really pointed towards those others that he will be making the journey with. He wants to get to know them and encourage them to seek after and unlock their own passions and ultimately stay the best course and finish well. Scott, I salute you and support you.
All right, Scott, when you're on one of those long, like 18-mile uphills, you know, and there's no canopy of trees and there's no wind in your hair and it's a little hot, maybe you're just huffing and really trying hard, don't think about the 800 cc's and the speed at which it would get you up that hill. And you know, the two wheels that you love, you know, I mean, just don't think about this. Don't think about Haggerty flying past with my golden locks flying in the wind. Don't. But I love you. Have fun.
One of my favorite stories about Scott, we were at a camp out. It was about 30 guys all around a fire a couple years ago. Scott was on crutches, just had surgery, and you know, must have been midnight or 1 in the morning, and guys were just talking about their lives and telling stories that just more and more got deeper and more personal, and guys would share, and after a guy would just share this amazing jaw-dropping story, there'd be a sort of silence, and I remember Scott would say, "Hey, I know how you feel, brother, I've been there." And another guy would share another jaw-dropping story, and he would say, I know how you feel, brother, I've been there. And what we came to realize is Scott, at that point in his life, had gone through so much and was really at the bottom. And yet, at that place is where he met God. and he was really being Christ at that moment to each of those guys, because he could say, I know how you feel, brother, I've been there. And that's Scott. I read a quote this morning from Thomas Keating that says, the will of God is to live the infinite goodness and the infinite tenderness right now. The infinite goodness and infinite tenderness of God right now. And I would say, if there's any man I know that lives out the tenderness and goodness of God, it's Scott. And when I really envy those people that are going to be with him on this adventure this summer, because he's going to be the one riding up next to them as they're riding across the country and saying, hey, you can do this, you can do this. And you will have the infinite tenderness and infinite goodness of God riding up next to you in Scott.
Well, as I said, I wanted to come to Charlottesville because I understood that I needed a team. And knowing that the James Q. Miller Clinic was here and everything that it encompassed, as I just said, the medical care, the physical therapy, the occupational therapy, the assessments that they will do on a regular basis, not just twice a year. I'm seeing 3, sometimes 4 times a year. I have a neuropsychologist that I see from time to time when I just need emotional tune-up and I need to get things off my chest and just readjust my thinking. It's wonderful being in this, being affiliated with this clinic.
Wow.
It's a dream come true for me, and I feel so much more settled than I ever have in my, it's now 7-year journey with multiple sclerosis.
So MS is a disorder where the immune system is attacking the body, and so the medications to treat the disease MS. When we treat MS, we treat both the disease and the person. And I think that we're very good here at the university at distinguishing the two. So treating the disease, the problem for a patient with MS is their immune system has attacked their brain or their spinal cord, causing a variety of symptoms from difficulty walking to difficulty seeing. The way that we treat that disease is we in essence modulate or change the way that the immune system functions.
You know, MS people in research and those who have it need a lot of funds. I've been faced with MS in my patients for my 26 years career, and it can be extremely devastating. You know, it can ruin a life. Some do extremely well, just have the fluctuating kind that comes and goes. But some of mine are now in wheelchairs, and some have succumbed to it and died. So the more research, obviously, that is done, the better. And we've made some strides, but it's been really slow. So people who dedicate a weekend to ride or a few months to ride to raise money are doing their bit, and I applaud them, each one of them.
So I want to read this this verse from Philemon that I thought of on my way over here. Verse 7 to you, Scott. For we have great joy and consolation in your love, because the hearts of the saints are refreshed by you, brother. And that's again verse 7 of Philemon. And that is true. Every time I'm with you, Scott, my heart is refreshed. I'm reminded of who I am. I find context in our friendship. That's really encouraging and wonderful.